I love 3D printers, and I have been in the hobby for a few years now. Back in 2019, I got a Prusa Mark IIIi. It was nowhere near the best, but it introduced me to this whole hobby. If you've ever 3D printed at all, I'm sure you know how frustrating failed prints can be. And there's a solution, there's a fix, but it's only available if you have a couple $1,000s to drop. But if you have maybe 200, then I've got a solution. The idea is pretty simple. You put a camera next to the printer, it runs it through an AI model, and if something looks wrong, it'll stop the print automatically. You don't have to babysit it, you don't have to check your phone every 20 minutes. It just handles it. This is especially useful when you're taking a trip out of the house or going on grocery shopping. Anything that means you just can't sit next to your printer all day. The whole thing runs on a Raspberry Pi locally. Just a little computer sitting next to the printer. No cloud, no subscription, no sending your camera feed through some random server. Just a little mini computer doing its thing right here. Okay, so for the hardware, we've got a Raspberry Pi 5, which is a little single board computer about the size of a credit card. It'll run you about $100. On top of that, we've got an AI hat, which sounds cooler than it is. It's a little other board that handles AI machine learning stuff. Basically, it can do 13 trillion operations per second, which really helps the load off of the CPU, so the CPU can do important things like sending information everywhere. Then we've got the camera module, pretty self-explanatory. Takes a photo of the print bed every 5 seconds and sends it to the AI model. If anything's wrong, it'll do the whole thing. And then for the printer itself, we have the FlashForge Adventure of 5M. A great printer for only $600. I would suggest this as an entry point. You can load any firmware onto it you want, or keep the stock one. It's a great option, it's very upgradable. Second is Home Assistant. Home Assistant is an open source smart home platform. It's kind of like Google Smart Home or Apple Smart Home, where you can connect lights, cameras, all the things like this. So what I've done is I've connected Clipper and Moonraker to my Home Assistant, so I can control it from everywhere. And third is an AI model called Obiko, originally known as the Spaghetti Detective. It is the AI model that runs locally off of the Raspberry Pi, and it takes a snapshot from the camera every 5 seconds, runs that photo through the AI model, and decides if there's any problems or not. If there isn't, it'll keep going, do another thing in the next 5 seconds, but if it has, it will notice the issues and send a notification to my phone where I can go see if it has failed or not. If it still sees a fail and I haven't responded after 2 minutes, it will pause the print. 2 minutes might seem like a long time, but if it thinks it sees a thing and then the next bit it doesn't, it knows it's just made a mistake and I don't have to wake up at 2 in the morning or whatever to stop the print. Alright, now on to the build. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this was an easy part because it really wasn't. The project was originally designed around another entity called Octoprint, but since this printer runs Clipper, I can't use that, unfortunately. So, what I had to do myself was I had to basically manually tell Home Assistant what the different buttons were. So in total, there are 213 entities, which are every single different button you can press. Now, most of them go unused, but the ones that are mainly used are things like Start Print, End Print, Pause, Cancel, and the different heat bed temperatures, as well as the bed height and the nozzle moving around. The reason this was one of the longest parts was because the Docker build I was trying to do needed an older package that wasn't available on new versions of Linux. That was fun to figure out at 11 p.m. And getting the camera stream to show up in Home Assistant took embarrassingly long as well. Turns out Docker networking is a thing, and I had to make the camera stream handle multiple connections at once. It's the kind of thing that you really don't think about until it breaks. But that's kind of the point, right? You learn more from things that break than things that work the first try. Okay, so here it is actually running. You can see in the logs it's grabbing frames every 5 seconds, running them through the model, all good. And when something goes wrong, straight to my phone, camera snapshot added, and the cancel button is right there. It's done. The thing I like most about this project is it's completely yours. Your network, your hardware, everything. Nobody else has access to your camera feed. You're not paying anybody, no monthly fees. It's yours. It took me about 2.5 months of evenings to put this all together and get it working. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of effort, and a lot of things will not work the first time. But it was fun, and it taught me a whole lot about all of this. If you print a lot, it really will save you for prints that you have to do overnight. I'm sure you know how frustrating it is when you wake up and a print is completely failed, because it's happened to me a lot too. I will put everything into a GitHub page, so if anybody does want to do it, they can. Fair warning, it will break a whole lot, but that's the fun of it, no? I'm not gonna lie, this project ended up to be very stressful at points. I stayed up, there was a lot of late nights, but I think this might be easily my favorite project I've done. It was very ambitious. The first time I thought of doing something like this was in about January of this year, and was really just as a thought. I really didn't think it would be able to happen, because it's not something that seems easily done, and it was very much not easily done, but with a lot of hard work, a lot of stress. I'm very happy that I've been able to complete this, and I am glad to end off my last year in Rail with this.